Hey, this is a video for the Edwardian macaroni cheese. So today we're going to be cooking pasta and a cheese sauce. So we're using macaroni pasta. Obviously that's where macaroni cheese gets its name from. This is made in Italy and it's the shape of the pasta that's called macaroni. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is half fill a pan with hot water from the tap. We're then going to put in 1 scoop of dried pasta and we're then going to put that on the heat for about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, give it a good stir as you put it on the heat and keep stirring it every few minutes to make sure the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom. So you put that on your heat on about a 4 or a 5 and keep it bubbling. And what you want to do is when the pasta's cooked, it will double in size. You can see here I've got the dried pasta and here's some cooked pasta. And the best way to check if it's cooked is take a piece out and taste it, or cut it in half and check it's the same colour the whole way through and it's nice and soft. You don't want it to be totally mushy, you want it to be something called al dente, so it's got a little bit of bite to it because it is going to be going into the oven as well. But you can see it's doubled and it's changed in colour as well, so it's gone from quite a dark yellow to a real pale colour. That's what you're looking for. So once your pasta's on, you're going to prepare your cheese sauce. So in another saucepan now, we're going to put 2.5 tablespoons of flour. So to use, obviously you don't want volcanic mountain tablespoons. Use a knife to get flat ones. So you want 2 big ones and then 1 smaller one. So that's just plain flour and that's what's going to thicken our sauce. So put that in your saucepan. You're then going to add in 25 grams of butter as well into that. And then we're going to add 250 mils of milk. Okay, so you'll notice you've got 2.5 tablespoons, 25 grams, and then 250 mils of milk. Make sure you get down low and make sure you accurately read that measurement. Don't hold it in the air, because if you hold it in the air, you can't really tell how much is in there. So put it down on a flat surface and do it then. Then we're going to put that all in together, and this is going to make our sauce. We're then going to put it onto the heat. We're going to use a whisk to get rid of all of those lumps of flour. So you're going to keep whisking it. Don't worry about the lump of butter because that is going to melt as we go through. And what's happening now is there's something called starch in the flour and that is slowly going to absorb some of that liquid. But we need to get it to about 100 degrees. We need to get it boiling in order for that starch to really start working. So we're going to keep stirring it because if you don't keep stirring, if you forget about it, walk away, your sauce could suddenly go really, really lumpy and really thick. So we're going to keep whisking it and you'll notice it's slowly starting to get a bit thicker. That butter is starting to melt. It will take about 5 minutes, so you might get a little bit of arm ache. But what you're looking for is a really thick sauce. So keep whisking it. Make sure you go all the way to the edges. Okay, and you'll notice this is starting to go a bit thicker now. It's getting a bit harder to whisk. And you'll see that it's almost bubbling. Once it gets to the boiling stage, so this is now going to start to boil, we're going to just give it another minute or 2 to really thicken up. Okay, and you'll notice that it's gone really thick. In a second, we're then going to add in half a teaspoon of mustard powder and half a teaspoon of nutmeg to give it some real flavour. So keep whisking it and you'll notice how thick it has gone. So you'll notice if you use a spatula, coat the back of a spoon, you'll see that it coats it nicely. It isn't runny, it's giving you a nice covering on the back of that spatula. Okay, we're then going to take that off the heat because it's gone nice and thick and it's got a really glossy colour. You can see it's gone really shiny and really glossy. So we're going to take that now off the heat, put it just onto the back there, that's fine. And then we're going to grate our cheese. So like I said, we're going to grate, you've got 1 block of cheese, you're going to grate it. You need to put 3/4 of the cheese in one pile, 1/4 in another. This part is really important. This is going to be going into our sauce. This is going to be going on top of your macaroni cheese. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be putting in to our sauce half a teaspoon of mustard powder and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay, the Edwardians really liked exploring with different flavours, so we're going to add half a teaspoon into our cheese sauce, half a teaspoon of that mustard powder. We don't want it on the heat, and we're going to add in our cheese as well at this point. So that big block, not the small one, Get that cheese into there, and then we're going to whisk it again. We don't want to do this on the heat because the cheese will go too stringy. So we're just going to mix it in. You can see all of those spices being mixed into that sauce. Okay, so keep mixing it until it's all mixed in. The heat will be enough to melt all of that cheese. You can see now that sauce hasn't got any lumps in it. It's lovely and glossy, and that cheese is all melted. Okay, so now we need to get our pasta into our sauce. I made some earlier. So to get your pasta, you need to get it into a colander over a sink. So you're going to put this in the bottom of the sink, empty the water and the pasta into that. You're then going to rest your colander in your saucepan and carry it over to your area. Otherwise your pasta is going to drip water all over the floor and make it really slippery and dangerous. So put it in your saucepan, carry it back over. You're then going to add that pasta into your sauce. Get it all in there. We're then going to give that a really good mix. Make sure all of your pasta is coated in that lovely cheese sauce you've just made. Once that's all coated, we're then going to get that into a grease foil tray. So I've used the oil brushes, put a little bit of oil around the bottom, around the sides. That's to stop it sticking. We're going to put that all into there. Make sure you get out as much as you can. And then we're going to add that leftover cheese and some breadcrumbs. So this is a great way to use leftover breadcrumbs. So your breadcrumbs in a bowl, you're going to add your cheese into that. Okay, give that a good mix just so it's evenly dispersed. Good mix of that into there. And then we're just going to sprinkle that on top of our macaroni cheese. Okay, and on top of that then, we're then going to put a few bits of butter to make it even more luxurious. You can see here I've just got a few blobs of butter that I've broken off, and we're just going to dot that around the top of our dish. The breadcrumbs are going to give you a really nice crunchy top to that macaroni cheese. We're then going to put this in the oven for about 15 minutes. You need to put it onto an oven tray. Team up with someone else so you get 2 on an oven tray. If you don't put it on an oven tray, it's going to be really difficult to get out of the oven. Make sure you've also written your name on the side of the tin. Use permanent marker just along here. Just put your name or your initials so you know it's yours. And once it's cooked, it will be lovely and golden on top. You can see the breadcrumbs have gone golden. That cheese is melted and gone a really golden colour as well. So that is what you're looking for.